terasa jauh, kini ada di genggaman. Universitas terbuka hadir membuka jalan bagi siapa saja, dari mana saja, untuk terus belajar dan berkembang. UT menawarkan fakultas dan jurusan yang beragam untuk menjangkau segala minat dan potensi. Tak hanya itu, UT juga berkomitmen pada pelestarian lingkungan dengan menerapkan konsep Green University yang dilengkapi fasilitas ramah lingkungan. Ribuan mahasiswa tersebar di berbagai wilayah, dari Sabang sampai Merauke, bahkan hingga luar negeri. Ini membuktikan bahwa di UT, belajar bukan lagi soal tempat atau waktu, melainkan tentang kesempatan yang terbuka luas untuk semua orang. Di Universitas Terbuka, teknologi bukan sekedar alat, tapi jembatan yang menghubungkan mimpi dengan kenyataan. Berbagai inovasi pembelajaran dihadirkan, mulai dari tutorial berbasis AI, siaran radio, UT TV, hingga dunia virtual dan metaverse. Bahkan terdapat sistem ujian yang fleksibel dan inklusif. UT memastikan akses pendidikan menjangkau seluruh pelosok, dari kota hingga desa. Dosen dan tutor UT hadir melalui layar, suara, dan ruang digital. Dengan teknologi, menjangkau yang jauh, menguatkan yang ragu, membimbing setiap mahasiswa menuju ilmu tanpa batas waktu, tanpa jarak yang menghalangi. Universitas Terbuka memiliki 775 dosen tetap yang tersebar di seluruh Indonesia, serta memiliki 35 profesor dengan target peningkatan 2,5% per tahun. UT juga didukung oleh ribuan tutor aktif yang memfasilitasi pembelajaran. Setiap langkah kecil yang konsisten, lambat laun menjelma menjadi pencapaian besar. Universitas Terbuka tak hanya tumbuh, tapi terus membuktikan kualitasnya. Prestasi demi prestasi diraih, penghargaan dan akreditasi menjadi bukti bahwa kualitas tak pernah diragukan dan komitmen terhadap pendidikan terus dijaga. Inovasi lahir bukan sekedar pembeda, namun sebagai jawaban atas kebutuhan belajar yang terus berkembang. Dari teknologi pembelajaran terkini hingga sistem yang lebih ramah dan inklusif, semua dirancang agar pendidikan dapat menjangkau ke semua lapisan. Terbukti, berbagai terobosan ini telah berhasil memperoleh sejumlah paten.
Pendidikan adalah kehidupan yang terus hidup. Mari kita jadikan ilmu sebagai bentuk eksistensi diri kita sebagai manusia yang terus ingin belajar. Semoga cita-cita kita semuanya untuk menjadi mahasiswa yang menempuh pendidikan di Universitas Terbuka ini akan lahir sebagai manusia-manusia yang hebat.
Harapan saya buat mahasiswa UT jangan pernah kecil hati dan jangan pernah patah semangat, dan mudah-mudahan membuat kita komit untuk bisa menyelesaikan perkuliahan di UT. Semangat terus!
Harapannya semoga Universitas Terbuka di era globalisasi ini dan juga di era digital tetap berkualitas dan tetap menjangkau yang tidak terjangkau. Pendidikan berkualitas di Indonesia terus merambah kemana-mana.
Di balik langkah kecil seorang anak, tersimpan mimpi yang begitu besar. Bukan tentang kemewahan, bukan tentang harta, tapi tentang ilmu, cahaya yang mampu mengubah masa depan.
Terkadang ingatan membawa kita kembali ke awal, ke masa saat dunia adalah taman bermain yang luas dengan penuh rasa ingin tahu. Dan lihatlah kini, semangat kegembiraan dan rasa ingin tahu itu telah mengantarkannya menjadi bagian dari sebuah perjalanan besar. Perjalanan yang ia jalani di Universitas Terbuka, tempat impian dan potensi tak pernah berhenti bertumbuh.
Setiap hari selalu kuawali dengan yang aku mau. Bebas tapi bertanggung jawab, fleksibel tapi pasti. Hari-hariku dipenuhi dengan semangat untuk kuliah dan meraih profesi. Karena aku mampu mandiri, UT menempaku untuk mandiri. UT memberiku kesempatan belajar kapan dan di mana saja. Dan tentu saja bisa mengelola waktu untuk belajar dan bekerja. Hingga kini, aku mampu meraih profesiku. Menyenangkan, dan aku siap meraih prestasi yang terbaik. Gimana dengan kamu? Kemandirian ciri khas utama kami. Ya cuma UT yang bisa begini.
Mas Teguh, saya dengar dari warga kamu itu ngaku mahasiswa. Kamu itu kerjanya di rumah terus. Mau nipu ya?
Saya kuliah di Universitas Terbuka, Pak. Kuliah bisa dari rumah. Bahan ajar pun langsung, Pak, dikirim ke rumah.
Permisi, paket dari Universitas Terbuka.
Nah, sekarang percaya toh, Pak. Cuma Universitas Terbuka yang bisa kayak gini.
Ayo.
Eni, kita harus berpisah sementara. Aku akan kuliah di kota demi cita-cita kita. Tunggu aku pulang.
Jangan, Oma. Kamu kuliah di UT saja. Kamu bisa terus bernyanyi dan kita bisa selalu bersama.
Oh iya, aku lupa. Terlalu. UT kan negeri dan masih bisa kuliah dari mana saja.
Betul, Oma.
Hanya di Universitas Terbuka.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The Honorable Dean of the Faculty of Science and Technology Universitas Terbuka, Dr. Subekti Nurmawati, MSI. The Honorable Head of Statistics Study Program Universitas Terbuka, Miss Siti Hadijah Hasanah, SSI, MSI. Excellencies, Honorable Speakers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. A very good morning to every one of you and welcome to the eStat International Webinar with the theme Future of Data Analytics in the AI Era. We would like to extend our warm greetings to all of you attending and participating in this marvelous event. I am Zakia and I feel honored to partake in this event as the master of ceremony. Please be informed that at the end of this session, an attendance form will be provided. Kindly make sure to fill it out in order to claim your certificate. Before we commence today's agenda, let us show our respect and unity by singing the Indonesian national anthem, Indonesia Raya. I kindly invite all participants to stand up if possible and join us. Thank you. Please be seated. Now, it is my great pleasure to invite Dr. Subekti Nurmawati, MSI, Dean of the Faculty of Science and Technology Universitas Terbuka, to deliver the welcome speech. Dr. Subekti, the screen is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Best wishes to all of us. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. On this very fine day and in good health, we can gather in this international webinar, and it is our privilege that we can join in today's forum. Our Honorable Ibu Amanda Permata Dewi, our keynote speaker, data analyst from AirAsia, Malaysia. Our Honorable all Vice Deans of Faculty of Science and Technology Universitas Terbuka, all of the head study programs, especially Ibu Siti Hadijah, Head of Statistics Study Program FSTUT, our moderator, Bapak Abdi Rosilala. He is one of our alumni of Statistics Study Program FSTUT, all lecturers, students of the FSTUT, and all participants who present in this forum. Firstly, praise is to Allah SWT for His mercy and grace. Today we are all able to attend the webinar. Our extraordinary speaker, Ibu Amanda Permata Putri, with the topic International Future of Data Analytics in the AR Era. Ladies and gentlemen, the international future of data analytics in the AI era is an exciting and transformative subject. AI advancements are revolutionizing data analytics by enabling organizations to process, analyze, and derive insight from massive datasets. The future of data analytics in the AR era is bright and transformative, with immense potential for business, government, and individuals worldwide. While the opportunities are vast, international collaboration, ethical implementation, and workforce upskilling will be crucial to harness the full potential of AI in data analytics. Countries and organizations that invest in AI-driven analytics technologies will thrive in this data-centric future. Ladies and gentlemen, this event is organized by Statistics Study Program of the Faculty of Science and Technology Universitas Terbuka. Hopefully, after attending this webinar, it can inspire us to continue working to develop research using AI advancement and need wisdom that can be useful for sustainability of our life. We express our gratitude to Ibu Amanda Permata Dewi for your time and sharing. I also would like to thank the Statistics Study Program for continuing these good activities. Finally, we would like to thank all parties that we have not mentioned, but we cannot mention one by one who have helped organize today's webinar. That's all from me. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, Dr. Subekti, for the inspiring remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, before moving to the next agenda, let's take a group photo together. For all participants, please turn on your camera and give us your best smile. Our team will capture the moment in 3, 2, 1. Next slide. 3, 2, 1. Thank you. We will now continue. Now, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce our moderator for today's webinar, Mr. Andi Rosilala Esta. Mr. Andi is a graduate of the Statistics Study Program at Universitas Terbuka with an outstanding academic record and currently continuing his master's study in statistics at Universitas Islam Indonesia. He has extensive training and expertise in statistical computing, data visualization, machine learning, and big data analytics, having completed professional course from Universitas Diponegoro, Institut Teknologi 10 November, Johns Hopkins University, Yonsei University, and many others. Professionally, Mr. Andi has experience as an intern at the National Research and Innovation Agency, as well as serving as a freelance assistant at the Computational Statistics Laboratory, Universitas Islam Negeri Salatiga. He is also an active researcher and has presented at several international conferences, including the 13th International Conference on Numerical Optimization and Operation Research at Universitas Islam Indonesia, and the 2nd International Conference on Mathematics, Geometry, Statistics, and Computation at Universitas Negeri Jember in 2025. In recognition of his achievements, Mr. Andi has received numerous awards, such as Best Presenter at the National Seminar on Science and Technology by Universitas Terbuka, champion titles in National Scientific Paper Competition, and multiple medals in statistics and data science competitions. With his strong background in both academia and research, we are honored to have Mr. Andi as today's moderator. Mr. Andi, the screen is yours.
Thank you, Ms. Zakia, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, and fellow participants. On behalf of the organizing committee, I warmly welcome to this international webinar with our theme, Future of Data Analytics in the AI Era. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor to introduce our distinguished speaker for today's session. We are joined by Ms. Amanda Permata Dewi, an accomplished 5 years of experience in leveraging data to optimize efficiency and has business insight and drive strategic decision making. Currently, Ms. Amanda serves as data analyst at AirAsia Malaysia, where she contributes to various cross-functional projects in the aviation domain, including sales, analytics, forecasting, and AI-driven initiative. Prior to this, Ms. Amanda was senior data analyst at Tokopedia, where she developed innovative predictive model, advanced marketing mix analysis, and impactful visualization tools to better understand buyer behavior and optimize marketing strategies. Ms. Amanda began her career as junior data analyst at Style Theory, where she worked closely with growth and customer experience team to provide actionable insight and data-driven solution. Ms. Amanda holds a bachelor degree in statistics from IPB University and is highly skilled in tools such as SQL, Python, Arshiny, BigQuery, and Tableau. Today, Ms. Amanda will be sharing with us her insight on the evolution of analytics, the role of data analysts in the AI era, and case studies from her own experience, and how we can prepare for future career in this fast-changing field. Because as we know, today's rapidly evolving digital world, data has become the new fuel that power innovation, business growth, and decision-making. But with the emergence of artificial intelligence, data analytics is undergoing a massive transformation from traditional descriptive report to AI augmented insight. So the role of data analyst is now shifting, requiring not only technical expertise, but also creativity, ethical judgment, and the ability to collaborate with intelligent system. So this webinar is designed to help us better understand how AI is reshaping the future of analytics, what opportunities then challenge lie ahead, and how we can prepare ourselves for this new era. We are honored to have with us our outstanding speaker who will guide us through this exciting topic, sharing both theoretical perspective and real-world case studies. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us deep dive into the future of data analytics together. And without further ado, please join me in giving a warm welcome to Miss Amanda Permata Dewi. Miss Amanda, the floor is yours to deliver your presentation for about 1 hour.
Okay, thank you so much, Andy, for the warm welcome. And all the participants also, the master ceremonial also all warm welcoming me today. So good morning, everyone. My name is Amanda Permata Dewi. You can call me Amanda. And I'm very excited to be here today as your keynote speaker. This is a sharing session, so you can ask me anything also because this is a sharing. I'm not the one who are having like knowledge here. You guys also having knowledge, so we can just share our knowledge together. So today we will talk about something that very emerging topic right now, which is the future of data analytic in the AI era. I think like why is this topic is important is because whether you became a data analyst, a product manager, or marketer, or even entrepreneur, understanding how data and AI shape decisions will be a very crucial nowadays. Since the world is producing more data than ever, and now we have AI that making it easier to us to use the data in ways that we couldn't imagine even 5 years ago. But of course, with this opportunity will come like a lot of challenges. Skills are shifting, roles are evolving, and of course, we need to prepare. Okay, sorry, can you guys help to share my presentation? Okay. Okay, sure. Can go to the next slide. Okay, so this is a little bit about me. I think Andy already mentions a bit also, but I will introduce myself as well again. So I'm a data analyst with 6 year experience. Nowadays, I'm specializing in the marketing analytics since my roles before in the Tokopedia is more on the marketing, forecasting and marketing as well. But now, since areas are evolving in the AI more, now I'm working on the AI-driven initiative. So back then in 2020 until 2021, I'm starting my career as a data analyst at the Stell Theory. This company is an early stage startup company, and now they are having headquarters in the Singapore. And then second one is the data analyst at the Tokopedia. As you know, this is also the biggest e-commerce in the Indonesia. I'm learning a lot also here, how to large scale online business and also leveraging the SME data. And then nowadays I'm working at the data analyst at AirAsia, which is currently based in the Malaysia. So right now I'm relocated to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And in AirAsia, my role is more on center about demand planning, forecasting, and applying AI to all of the AirAsia era. So yeah, let's move to the next slide. Okay, so I will share a bit about the today agenda. First, I will briefly share about the context, like why analytics is evolving so quickly. And then second one, I will be deep dive on the evolutions of the analytic itself, like from the descriptive to AI different. And then third one is the role of data analytic in the AI era. And of course, case study from the AirAsia itself to make it like a practical. And then of course, a future career where you might like fit in this new job like in the AI era. And then finally, like how we can like prepare to thrive in the new landscape. Okay, so I think I will make this session a bit interactive. So I hope that when I ask like a question, someone will, yeah, raise a hand to answer my questions. Okay. Okay, we can go to the next slide. Okay, so a bit of context here. Like, as we know that we live in the digital era, right? And the amount data that we generate is every day is a lot. Like, can you imagine like all of you guys now maybe open like Instagram or TikTok or maybe buy a shopping online, flight booking, social media. Like, can you imagine like every click, every review, every locations, every single piece online shopping that you make is tracked in the data warehouse. So you can imagine that it's a really huge like a data itself, right? But traditionally, analytic in the past, we are looking only in the past, like what happened, why did that happen, something like that. It is like a traditional analytic, like we only analyzing the trend itself, so what happened and why did it happen. But now, I think it's more toward to the predictive and also prescriptive, since company also want to predict the future. Since we already know the trend, like yearly trend, monthly trend, and why did that happen, maybe why our revenue is decreasing, or maybe why sales is decreasing, they will continue to ask. And then what will happen the next? If we are having this much of budget, what will happen? Do we it will increase our revenue or not? What should we do about it? Then there is an AI also come in the between as a catalyst. So I think instead of like manually building like models or spending weekly to reconciling the data nowadays, AI will allow us to analyze the pattern in real time and also automate the insight and even delivering the insight itself in the different language, not only English, but Indonesian or Chinese or Japanese, like which one like you will prefer, right? Okay. So maybe a quick question here, like how many of you like using ChatGPT or AI in the day-to-day basis? I think, yeah, most of them, most of like, yeah, maybe 50%, 60%. Mr. Andy, are you using AI for the daily basis?
Definitely.
Okay, sure, definitely right. So yeah, can we imagine, right? If like the business or company using AI, like imagining like they are using that for running a business at a scale, like you asking a question in the chat GTP, what is like our revenue today? And then what will happen, like what is our revenue like tomorrow? Something like that. Yeah, it's a very exciting. So we can go to the next slide. Okay, so this is a bit about the analytic evolutions that I mentioned before. So I will start with the descriptive analytics. This one is a very basic one. I guess you all know since you are all attending this webinar from statistic background, I guess so. So descriptive analysis is more on like reporting what happened. So nowadays, reporting only know how to produce reporting what happened is already like in the past because it's like a basic mandatory things that we should already have the skills. And then the second one, and we go dig dive deeper is diagnosis analytic. This is like asking like why it happened. So instead of just saying, okay, last month maybe last month sales were 1 million, and then next month sales is maybe probably 0.5 million, we should know like why the sales is dropped. This is like important. So not only showing the data, but we also know how to deep dive on why it's happened. And then the third one is like predictive analytic. So based on the trend, okay, maybe the sales is dropped because a lot of people now in the holidays, they are not in the mood of shopping. Okay, so we should take like this type of month is like a month of the holiday. So we shouldn't make a lot of investment in this type of month. So that's why it's will be like happen to like predictive analytics. So we can predict better for the future. So instead of having like a stable, a lot of budget like every month, we can distinguish in which month we should put our budget strategically, right? And then after that, like this come like prescriptive analytic when the analyst will recommending what to do. For the example, like I mentioned before, like suggesting maybe, okay, for months like March, April, or December, when it is like a low season and people tend to be like not shopping and staying at home, we should put hold our budget like half on our regular budget, something like that. So most of the time, all of these four stages before AI came is like kind of like separate. We cannot really have like a one self-serving analytic when people can just asking to like one applications like what should I do for budgeting this month? What should I put? Like, is it like 1 million investment is worth or 0.5 investment is enough? Something like that. So this is where AI is included for the augmented analytic. This way, AI helps to automate all of this, providing insight, and also adapting like the real time of the data. So that is why this is like a very important. Also, right now we have the ability to understand more like what kind of AI that we have, natural language, is it LLM, something like that. So yeah, okay, let's go to the next slide. Okay, so this is more on the data analytic, traditional data analytic before AI and with AI. Maybe someone from here, like maybe one of you can describe like what is like data analyst job that you are currently know. I will give 50,000 Kupai balance if someone want to participate. I just want to know like what kind of knowledge that you have. What is like data analytic job? No one wants? In Indonesian also, it's okay. Maybe Mr. Andy wants to collaborate?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
the role of moderator to yeah, maybe the simplest one,
Yeah.
the big job is about I think using data to help organization make better decision maybe, and people in this role maybe like collecting, cleaning, analyzing, or interpreting data, something like that. Then the most importantly is turn that all of them into the insightful that can be used by manager or executive or other stakeholders. I think this is the
Okay.
simplest thing
Yep. That's the
come up in
simplest way
mind.
to say. Yeah, true that. Thank you so much, Mr. Andy. I'll need a lot of your help in here. So yeah. So yeah, we will deep dive one of them. Like first one is the data access. So before AI, for traditional analytic, knowledge, I can say like still manually pull and clean data, not manually like from something like Google Sheets or something like that. Even though like we have a data warehouse in the Google BigQuery, a lot of table inside that warehouse. Imagining like we have sales data, marketing data, budget data, investment data, like how all of these four you will combine into one insight, right? Like, yeah, can you imagine not only four, like 100 tables there? So imagining like one big AirAsia app where we have in-flight sales, booking for hotel, booking for a ride, and then a lot of like number also there. So it will be like a very huge data and a lot of table there. So before AI, we will not manually, but understanding one by one which table are required by our stakeholders to simply deliver the insight of maybe what is our current revenue today. Okay, okay, no, I saw a chat. Okay, and then after that, so simply like answering like a question, how much our revenue today, like the traditional data analyst, we will have like a back-to-back meeting first. Is there any important requirement from the business? Are you looking for the revenue for might be only flight that are in the morning or flight in the afternoon or all of the flight? Do you want to know like the in-flight revenue for only in Malaysia, Indonesia, or Philippines? Like something like that, it's required a lot of business requirement. Since you know SQL, right? SQL, like we only can like retrieve like several things like filtering the data based on like what is required by our stakeholders. So when it comes to the AI, it will be like simple the business questions, not required. I don't think like it's required a lot of SQL query and also dashboard created by analysts, but instead with a natural language queries like chat with the data, like you chat daily in the chat GPT, like, okay, what is our revenue in 2025? And then yeah, the Gemini itself can connect to our data in the warehouse as long as we are validating it that first and prompting that first, and it can connect basically between like the data warehouse and also the Gemini itself. So it's kind of like a bit saving the time and effectively gather like the requirement itself from the business side, I can say. That's why we come to the third one is time to the insight. Usually we have hours today to data wrangling or even just to gather the requirement from the stakeholders. But with the AI, of course, because we can connect between our data warehouse and Gemini, it can be like a minute or second for the exploring the data. And then it's come for the role of the analyst. So before we only build a report and reconciling business definitions, as I mentioned before, because maybe 5 stakeholders, they have different business questions. One want a revenue without Malaysia, maybe. One only want a revenue in the Philippines, maybe. One only want to Indonesia. But then like in the data warehouse or BigQuery or SQL, you tend to create like 5 tables to do this, and then make sure like all is merged in the one dashboard, right? But with the combination of the Gemini and also the BigQuery, thankfully, like now Gemini and GPT is smart enough to filtering that us for us, and now it can be like analyst job is more on the prompt engineer, I can say, or validate the result. Is it like this AI is hallucinate? I cannot say that now ChatGPT or Gemini is 100%. Of course, it's not. So that's where our job is there to validate. Is it correct or not? It's not like they every time they generate like the same answer for every like questions. Like most of the time, sometimes when I first working on this ChatGPT to my AirAsia data, they tend to hallucinate. For the example, I ask for the revenue. Sometimes they are answering with another metric such as only sales by different metrics, something like that. So we should have like our prompting itself in the AI to validate which one is better, which one is accurate, something like that. Okay. Okay, and then when we talk about the scalability, of course, before for the traditional analytic, because we only tend to create like a specific report or specific dashboard, so that dashboard only can be accessed for limited people. For the example, a special stakeholder for only marketing stakeholder or revenue stakeholders. But with the AI, since we have like ChatGPT connecting to our data search, it can be like scalability across all of the multiple stakeholders, depends on what we need, right? Okay. So here is like the key takeaway from this, like, of course, I can say that AI doesn't replace the analyst, but it replaces the repetitive manual tasks, like while giving us more space to focus on the strategy, creativity. But in fact, it's make our roles more like valuable because we should validate and interpret and translate that data also into real actions. But it's kind of like a replacing the repetitive manual tasks from A to Z to maybe become Y to Z, something like that. Okay, can go to the next slide. Okay, so this is one of the case study. Case study number 1 is recently, it is a very recent, like 1 year, my roles data analyst in AirAsia, as I can say more on like a prompt engineer. So for the background, like in AirAsia, we collect like a huge volume of the data, like customer feedback, booking issue, in-flight service, package complaint, operation, marketing, blah, blah. Like the problem is sometimes the questions is overlap between one business stakeholders to another's, but like it's kind of like having different definitions sometimes. So now with the prompt engineer, it tends to be like we can analysts like leverage LLM to classify and summarize like what is like our business stakeholder wants. So yeah, because of the challenge here that we have, like we should like extract insight for the unstructured feedback data, and then multiple teams also having multiple definition, and also traditional text mining and SQL sometimes took a day. So with the prompt engineer, with the template of the prompt engineering itself, we can create like a smart template for the AI. For the example, like, can you summarize the top 5 complaint or booking history in Indonesia for the last 30 days. And then after that, the AI itself that will generate the SQL for us. So we only need to feed them with the right prompt. Like, okay, if you want to summarize top 5 complaints, you should take from this data. Can go to the next slide. Okay, so this is like the example how to prompt. So basically, yeah, you don't need to code. Here also, you can see that this is a normal English language, right? So this is actually what I did. Like for the step 1, like I'm just writing, okay, you are using BigQuery SQL to generate data. And then I should pointing them like, okay, use this table for the example AirAsia feedback with this type of fields like number, region, review created, just you mention it, as much as detail as possible. That is the step 1. So we are pointing the AI that we use, whether it's ChatGPT or Gemini, to pointing to specific table, and then the language is using BigQuery SQL. And then step 2, this is come for the specific prompt that we want to use. Like for the example, write a BigQuery SQL that are filter review based on the region, maybe Indonesia, and then create it in the last 30 days. And then number 2, we can follow up again, extra complaint categories by using column category. Otherwise, I use a keyword mapping. And then number 3, like count complaints per category. And then after that, we can return all of that output to the format SQL only. So you can see here, it's only the matter how is like the logic behind all of that you need to put inside the prompt engineer template. So no need to, what can I say? No need to memorizing or write a long SQL query, left join here and there, and then union here and there, and also learning about coding or SQL. I mean, like it's still needed, but the basic thing you need right now is the critical thinking, how you build that logic first. Like what kind of question and answer that you want. What is like the right step? For the example, like if you want to, for the day-to-day life, if you want to make a noodles, like you should like do it like in a manners way, right? For the example 1, boil the water first, and then after that open the noodles, and then after that put out the noodles, and then wait for the water to the boil, and then inside you put the noodle, and then after that when the noodle is cooked, then you put in the plate, and then after that you mix with all of the ingredient. Something like that. You need to think like thoroughly what is like the right step to be feed in the AI, so AI can take like an action of that without us telling them again tomorrow, something like that. So it's kind of like how we are feeding the right prompt to the AI. Okay. Okay, so you can go to the next slide. Okay, so this is the example for the ChatGPT. We call it Ask Ivana because this is like made by AirAsia, but unfortunately I cannot show simulations because it's privacy, but I can show like only in the screenshots our front-end application. So when this is Ask Ivana, means you can ask whatever it is to Ivana. For the example also here, we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, we have like 9 data set. Yeah, about 10 data sets. So each of the data set is connected to each other. And then we can simply ask like, what is our on-time performance today? And then in 1 or 2 seconds, I think maximum 10 seconds, the Ask Ivana can generate the correct answer. Of course, it's a lot of prompt tuning back then because we should generate a right logic behind that, and we should validate also the answer. So our job nowadays is maintaining this Ask Ivana to be not hallucinating, because sometimes if you know also ChatGPT can be hallucinate, right? So it's supposed to be our job to validate the results again and again, maybe updating the logic every 2 or 3 months, maybe discussing also with the stakeholders, is there any changes in the logic? So I can say that our job nowadays it's more on the like strategic things, means that you should have like a lot of communication with the business and then validating the issue. So rather than doing like the manual tasks on building a lot of coding or SQL, we are now being helped by the AI to do like the strategic analysis itself. Okay. Okay, we can go to the next slide. Okay, so this is the case study too. We have demand planning for the inflight cells. So for the background, you know that when you fly with AirAsia, we offer in-flight sales meals. But of course, because we are a low-cost carrier, you should buy that. I mean, like, it's not for free. But we are selling that in-flight meals, beverage, and also the duty-free item on every flight. But since you know that the space in the aircraft is limited, so we cannot carry too much also food and also beverage that we can offer, especially like the fresh item like nasi lemak or nasi padang or even like sandwich. But the problem, if we carry too little, we might like lose revenue. And then passenger also got disappointed because when their choice isn't available, they might feel like, okay, it's already finished out of stock, something like that. So traditionally, we are only forecasting this with like a simple average. So maybe like on the average, these routes sell like a 50 nasi lemak per flight. But I think like for the average, do not capture like real life variability. So Monday morning flight might behave differently with the Friday evening flight, of course. Or maybe like Kuala Lumpur to Thailand route, maybe like look different also with Kuala Lumpur to Jakarta. And then like holidays or promotion can completely also change the demand. So we kind of like now like this challenge, high variability and then limited cabin storage also. And also before we are doing like only manual forecasting that took a time and then lack of accuracy as well. I can go to the next slide. Okay, so the solution is before we connected the data to the Ask Ivana, we are doing like applying some logic like machine learning logic behind the demand forecasting. So this is why like how you know like what kind of analysis that are perfect use to like so several cases also very important, something like that. So you must have like a knowledge of a lot of analytical or machine learning or data scientist analysis also, so we can be like equipped with all of the knowledge first, and then when it comes to like test cases like this, for the example, I want to forecast the demand for the in-flight sales, but I have like a lot of variability. So yeah, at that time, you know which models that you want to use. So at this time, we are of course collecting the data first for the example, historical in-flight sales, and then route of the day, like Kuala Lumpur, Bangkok, how much is the route like operation for one day, and then the flight duration, of course, and then load factor of passenger seats sold on like a one capacity of the one airplane, because usually one airplane is around about 186 is full capacity, but sometimes it's less often than that. And then of course there will be like external feature, right? Such as a holiday, where we might have like a full capacity every day, but then there might be like low season, like a winter season also, when we have a very low capacity, maybe only 50% of the total. Yeah, so we should consider all of that feature, I can say, because if we might miss something, we might not correctly planning the demand perfectly. Because whatever models that you use, like step number one, the data collections and collecting the feature, it's also very important, which is again back to like the critical thinking and analytical thinking that I explained before. So basically like building that analytical thinking, that how you are seeing the test cases like everyday basis, what kind of thing that might affecting another thing, that is like very important, and you should build like from nowadays, I think. So you cannot like be blocked on like only one box of the thinking. You must open that to create like creativity, like what kind of factor, another factor that can affecting the trend of the data, something like that. Okay, so and then we come to the step number 2, which is the feature engineering. As you know that we might have categorical data like a root and middle type, and then creating like leg feature. Yeah, this is just step for the feature engineering. Maybe you can search that in the ChatGPT or Gemini. It's all of in that. But what you cannot search is how like the future engineering is, like how we propose like the right feature. That one is we cannot search in the AI. I mean, like you can search it in the ChatGPT or Gemini, but I think we still need like human touch. Sometimes only a general basic information that are available in the ChatGPT or Gemini. So that one we should like put also from our surrounding, like building our creativity from our surrounding as well. What kind of things that might affecting other things. Okay, can you go to the next slide? Okay, so this is where our model is approaching. We are using at that time is XGBoost. So this is kind of like a regression setup. This is to predict like the quantify for each of the item per flight. And then why XGBoost? Because at that time we kind of like handle mixed data type as well and capturing nonlinear relationships and dealing with the missing data. So we cannot use like traditional regression at that time. So yeah, we are using XGBoost. And then after that, we deploy the model to forecast the demand per SKU of the flight. And then after that, we integrate that inventory system to generate recommended stocking quantify with Ivana. So basically, we building this all of the feature engineering, data collections, with the data scientist team first to know like which model that we want to use. And then after that, we are connecting that to the Ivana. So whenever like the operation team asking how much planning for nasi lemak for today's flight for Kuala Lumpur to Bangkok, then it can generate like the real-time planning that are matched correctly with that time. Okay, and the result is very exciting. Can go to the next slide. Okay, so this is the result from our first POC. We reduced the wastage by 20%. So because it is important for us also not to have like a lot of wastage. Can you imagine like if one airplane have maybe only 20 nasi lemak that are being waste, but then we have 600 flight every day, like 1,200 nasi lemak just being waste. Like I cannot imagine that it's a very lost revenue for us. So reducing 20% is kind of like a huge number. And then of course, because we are reducing the wastage, we increase the revenue as well by 40%. Because we can capture like what kind of food that this specific route might want, this specific route might need, so we can increase that by 40%. So this is also where the analysts shift from like manual Excel forecasting to like we modeling, monitoring, and refinement also on the data. Okay. Okay, so yeah, this is the result for the demand planning itself. Okay, so I think like it's very important for us to be building that analytical thinking, I can say, at the first. So after that, you can follow that what kind of best models or what kind of best solutions that you can create after that. After that, we can use the AI to help us with the manual repetitive tasks. So yeah, that is only in the way. Okay, can go to the next slide. Okay, so I think this is the future career I can say for GA from my perspective these past 5 years and 2 years with the AI. But might be these roles will be evolving also next time, or yeah, I didn't know also. But this is like what I explore now. For the first is the prompt engineer. So like I said before, not only SQL or building a long code. Now we can create like a prompt and a workflows for the AI system. So we can feed the AI with our workflow, like what I previously explained about for the simplest way how to make a noodle. So yeah, we should like creating like the right workflow from the AI. And then second one, we have a governance and ethics specialist. Right now, to be fair, because we are in the big data transitions to I can say that not all of people are happy if their data is open to everyone. So that one is where the government and ethics specialist roles come in, where they should also manage to which data can open to everyone and which data cannot open to everyone. That one is also very important because might be like some of the data is very sensitive to everyone also, something like that. Okay, and then the next one is the industry specific specialist. I can say that this is also very important because we can combine both like our domain expertise. For example, I have a domain expertise in the marketing. Without the expertise from the human, the AI cannot be trained to be resulting like the correct result for the marketing budgeting, for the example. Because I mean, like for the marketing, a lot of things are changing from the online marketing now. Maybe 10 years ago, Instagram is hype, but now we have TikTok that more hype from the Gen Z. So yeah, kind of like we should be, as a marketing analyst, we kind of like shifting also from Instagram to TikTok, from Twitter maybe to X, right? So this kind of thing it's only human can do. Like the AI, they cannot really manage to collaborate all of that. So this one is need, of course, the domain expertise. And then the last one is the data and also AI translator. This one is maybe more on translating the complex AI or ML outputs into the insight for business stakeholders, since we still also have corporate company that sometimes they are not sure whether the AI outputs is aligned with their KPI or not. Sometimes like they don't know also whether it's accurate or not. So kind of like need the rules in the between as well. Okay, can go to the next slide. Okay, so maybe this is our strong fundamental how we can prepare nowadays, because I think not much AI course also outside, but of course as a human we can prepare to strengthen our core skill. Because preparing for the AI era is not about competing with the AI. It's about collaborating with it. So AI won't replace a job, but it definitely will replace someone who are not using it and collaborating with it. So I can say that we should build like a strong fundamental. What I mean by strong fundamental is analytical thinking, critical thinking, basic science and mathematics, and all of the basic technical thing that only humans can do, something like that. So in the end, AI is only things that can help us to reduce the manual or repetitive tasks, but the workflow is come from us. Like the data is come from us, the training is also will come from us, and we should be like the one who can validate that one also, whether it's correct or not. If we don't have this expertise or we don't have like the basic fundamental things, of course we cannot validate, right? For the example, like I asked like how much is the revenue for 2025 for AirAsia Indonesia. If I don't have like expertise, like I don't have like the basic knowledge how much is the revenue in 2025, when they say like okay 5 million, maybe I can okay the revenue is 5 million, but I didn't know that maybe if the revenue should be like in the trend should be like maybe less than 1 million. So some basic things like that, you must also have to know the basic understanding itself. Okay. And then of course, we should like learn AI and prompting technique if you can. Maybe nowadays also a lot of open course and also the university that can gather this type of informations and course. This one is also very a lot of demanding. I can see nowadays like machine learning engineering or AI engineering. That type of roles also kind of like happening nowadays. And then after that, of course, strengthen core analytic skill, already explained. Develop critical thinking, it's like a mandatory. And yeah, cultivate domain expertise. This one also I highly suggested to you guys, not only to know like technical skill, how to build like a code, how to build like machine learning, but to be like in a one domain expertise. For the example, you can choose, for me, I choose in the marketing, but you can choose for another, like an operations or like supply and demand or like sales or maybe consumer goods, something like that. So should choose like one really good expertise on that, and then evolving with the type of domain. And then after that, of course, like communication and storytelling skill is like never ending skill that must have for this type of AI era. So in the end, I can say that we still need like human touch, only if how we will elaborate with that. Okay, so yeah, can go to the next slide. I think this is my last slide. Yeah, okay, sure. Then thank you so much for the opportunity that given to me. Maybe we can go to the like Q&A. I can see like someone already asked a question. Oh, a lot? Okay. One, two.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very
Okay.
much, Ms. Amanda. That's such insightful and inspiring presentation, I guess. And I would say we are truly fortunate today to have heard such excellent presentation from that analyst that directly working at a international company. We gain valuable insight into the latest development in the data analytic fields and how the role is evolving into this AI-driven era, into how to prepare for future career challenge. That very best presentation for today. Now we will move into the discussion and Q&A session. But as a moderator, I would like to begin by asking a couple questions to deepen
Okay,
our
sure.
understanding before opening the floor to participant. I think I have two questions
Mm-mm.
about two issue actually about over dependence on AI and about bias and ethics.
Mm-mm.
I think it's non-technical,
Yeah.
but I think it's important. You mentioned earlier in your presentation that the role of data analyst is shifting toward becoming prompt engineer, right?
Hmm.
Working closely with AI system. If prompt engineering becomes central to the role of data analyst, do we risk creating an over dependence on AI system,
Hmm.
and how can data analysts ensure that their critical thinking is not replaced by automation? That about the over dependence on
Hmm.
AI. The second thing is about bias and ethics.
Hmm.
You also share that prompt engineering often involve working with LLM, large
Hmm.
language models. I think since this model, LM model, may uh, carry inherent bias,
Hmm.
how can we make sure data analysts safeguard ethical standard and data integrity when its prompt directly influence AI output?
Hmm.
I think that's two
Okay.
things arise in my head about your presentation.
Okay. Okay. Sure, sure, sure. Thank you so much, Andy, for the questions. Sorry, can you elaborate more for the first questions? I think I might lost bit.
Yeah. First question about over dependence on AI.
Okay. So you mean like which AI that we should choose, like
Yeah.
over dependence on the ChatGPT or Gemini, something like that?
Yeah, something like that. Do we
Yeah.
risk creating an over dependence on AI system, and
Hmm.
how can data analysts ensure that their critical thinking is not replaced by this automation?
Okay, okay, so sure. Okay, okay. Thank you so much for the questions. I will try to answer based on my knowledge nowadays. So yeah, you can also share yours as well. So based on what I'm experiencing and observations right now also, I think most of the time, yeah, now because we are just in the starting of the AI. So the biggest AI that we are using is ChatGPT and Gemini, of course. So I can say that, yeah, in this past 1 until 3 years, if we don't have any much more like of the competitor, maybe these two will still winning the competitions. So meaning that if the company want to shift to using AI to connect it to the data warehouse, something like that, they might offer dependence, of course, to the ChatGPT and the Gemini. And in the end, like it's like nowadays also all of the company, I mean like most of startup company, they are offer dependence on the Google product like Google BigQuery, Google Sheets, like Google Calendar, Gmail, like it's something like, yeah, because they are winning in the first race, like they are the pioneer. But I think we as a data analyst, of course, we cannot lose our critical thinking, means that we should evaluate whether this AI, whether it's ChatGPT or Gemini that we are using is not hallucinate. It's the same also as we are also nowadays using a lot of Google product. We also should like monitoring, for example, Google BigQuery for data warehousing. We should also monitoring each of the year, right? What is the cost for us to pay the subscription to them? So for ChatGPT and also Gemini, we also should be can manage to like how much token that we are using to generate insight. And also I found like it kind of like interesting also for sustainability, because I heard that last time also from one of like the chief officer of sustainability, that the price of the amount of energy to keep the machines keep up for the AI, it's a very huge expensive as well. So this might be a problem in the future, of course, for the sustainability. But I can say like for the 1 of the 5 years, we are as a human, as thing like as analysts and the technical peoples, we are should be the one who are safeguard these things. Means that we should aware that okay, the cost of to keep these AI things for the company is like how much this is it like worth it or not? Should we use it like in daily basis or not, something like that, so we can make like a suggestions to our financial or our finance team in the office, like can we afford this, like, or should we like save money for this one? So I think this critical thinking more evolving on that part, whether we assess if we are really using this for like core business or just like for luxury, something like that. Yeah. Okay.
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 Uh, Move
For
to the
the
next
Yep.
about bias and ethics
Yeah,
question.
yeah, that one is kind of
Discussion.
like a tricky, because when I'm working as a first prompt engineer also in Asia, I found it's a little bit tricky as well to connecting the Gemini. We are using Gemini right now to connect with our data warehouse in the BigQuery with the help of the people from the Google. It's also first time from them. So basically, a first time. We are just manually bulking all of our table in the BigQuery itself without any specific prompt to the Gemini. So we just like feed all of the data there. And then after that, yeah, you can imagine, right? The Gemini is overwhelmed and then tend to be like hallucinate. So this is like where our roles as an analyst is important, to be like knows like which logic is tend to be like feed to the Gemini. So because without our logic or without our prompt, it's like impossible for Gemini to not hallucinate and creating like the correct result. So I think our role is more on the validating, of course, and monitoring, of course, this how to like integrate the ChatGPT or Gemini with our current warehouse. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, okay. That's such interesting.
Yeah,
And
I know.
yeah.
Okay.
Let's deep dive in
Yeah.
discussion next session.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I can sense that our discussions is becoming richer and more engaging. And now we will open to the floor for the question from our participant. And as a reminder, there will be three Q&A sessions, and each session will take about 3 to 5 questions. And the first session will be prioritized to someone who raised their hand. We have two, Mbak Ika Nurlaili and Fadio. Mbak Ika first, please mention your name, full name and institution and the question.
Okay, thank you, Miss Andi. My name is Ika, one of lecturer at Universitas Terbuka. Thank you, Miss Amanda, for the insightful presentation. Building on that, do you recommend any specific courses or small hand-on projects to help our students strengthen their analytics skills in the AI era and remain competitive in a fast-moving job market, or to enhance the students' portfolio? Thank you.
Yeah, Ms. Amanda,
Okay. Yeah,
I invite
thank
you
you
to
so
respond to
much,
this.
Miss Ika, for the answer. At first, maybe for people who are not familiar with SQL and also business analytic, I will suggest to learn about that first, because that is like the basic fundamental first, of course, before we are deep dive on the AI course. So SQL and also machine learning, engineering, and also the business analytical mindset, that are the main fundamental things that you should learn. Any of the courses, I think it's okay based on like the Coursera. I cannot really recommend one or two courses, because at last time when I'm integrating this, we are working facing with the Google itself. So there is no such of the course in the between, since we are working back to back with them directly. So, but I can say that the things that you should learn is most of the time is okay, building analytical thinkings, and then business analytic. You can search that in the Coursera as well. Like, I think like a lot of things. And then after that, SQL. And then for AI, I think it's more on how LLM and prompt engineering are working, because that is like the things like behind the ChatGPT and Gemini itself. So you might like want to understand what is natural language and LLM, how they work in the AI, how it's retrieve like the correct language, like how it can translate from Indonesian to English, English to Spanish, Spanish to Japan, something like that. So that type of LLM, natural language, you might want to be interested as well to learn about that. But yeah, of course, without the fundamental things, you might like lose in the middle, because this is only the complementary. So the complementary one, I think in the future, more on AI, not only ChatGPT and Gemini, maybe AI from China as well will be encountered. Yeah, so on this type of two, LLM and natural language, you only need to know like the basic, because in the end, we might use their service. But how to like validate like the things, the business analytic and SQL, I think that one is still important. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Amanda, for the explanation.
Yeah.
Bu Ika, was the answer clear for you, or would you like to give a short follow-up question?
Yes, very clear. Thank you, Miss Amanda.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. For move to the second question, Mas Padio Rafliansyah.
Allow me to ask in Indonesian.
I think I cannot hear you.
Ya, Pak Padio.
Halo.
Ya,
Oke.
you can start.
Halo.
Oh ya.
Ya, we can hear you.
Oke. Izin untuk bertanya dalam bahasa Indonesia, boleh?
Boleh.
Oke. Sebenarnya saya mungkin ada dua pertanyaan. Yang pertama, tadi saya cukup menarik melihat bahwa data analis kalian sudah melakukan prediksi juga. Karena yang sepengetahuan saya mencari tahu itu, data analis tadinya memang hanya untuk melakukan analisa data yang sudah ada gitu, dan mungkin melakukan analisa data untuk kepentingan perusahaan. Nah, berarti apakah skop antara data scientist dan data analis ini menjadi semakin kecil gitu, semakin mirip satu sama lain gitu, atau ternyata malah ada perluasan di data analisnya gitu? Apakah mungkin seperti itu gitu? Aku tanya itu sih. Sama satu lagi, sebenarnya ini mungkin lebih ke teknis karena saya belum pernah untuk mencoba mengolah data secara langsung gitu. Tapi bagaimana kita benar-benar bisa mempertimbangkan si special occasion seperti promosi, hari-hari libur gitu, atau hal lainnya dalam analisis data ini. apakah mungkin kita menggunakan data sebelumnya gitu, mungkin hari libur sebelumnya sebagai acuan prediksinya gitu, atau bagaimana teknik untuk kita bisa melakukan prediksi itu dengan lebih akurat gitu. Mungkin itu dua pertanyaan yang saya ingin tanyakan. Oh, sebelumnya maaf, saya Fadio Raflensya dari mahasiswa matematika dari UPBJJ Jakarta.
Oke, terima kasih Fadio atas pertanyaannya, sangat menarik. Aku jawab bahasa Indonesia juga ya. Oke, jadi pertanyaan pertama tadi sangat menarik ya. Jujur, saya agak bingung jawabnya. Karena itu juga menjadi kegalauan saya dan teman-teman di data analis roles juga sekarang. Karena ya, seperti yang kalian tahu, sekarang job market juga bukan sedang susah, tapi sedang transisi. Karena sekarang perusahaan pun mereka maunya orang yang bisa semuanya, tapi bayar semurah-murahnya. Ya, itu kayak harsh truth sebenarnya. Tapi karena kita sedang ada di transisi between data analis, data science, dan juga AI, banyak perusahaan yang juga sedang hold on kayak apakah kita butuhnya AI engineer kah? Atau butuh data analis tapi kontrak aja kali ya, 3 bulan toh juga cuma building dashboard gitu. Jadi ini depends ke roles yang mau kamu acu nanti di masa depan. Mungkin data analis masih dibutuhkan kalau misalnya roles-nya masih sekedar kayak building a report ataupun kayak descriptive analytic aja. Itu aku yakin masih banyak, cuma lebih ke freelance. Jadi bukan yang permanen atau full time. Jadi mungkin lebih ke kayak independent kontraktor. Karena kalau aku lihat di freelance job sekarang ini banyak juga yang masih butuh untuk dibutuhkan untuk membuild dashboard untuk sales. Tapi kan mereka hanya butuh 1 kali saja kan, which is yang bisa mereka pakai 3 sampai 6 bulan. Nggak tahu nanti tahun depannya lagi mereka butuh lagi apa enggak. Jadi mereka kayak perusahaan sekarang lebih kayak hesitate mau untuk yang reporting kayak gini mending hire full time atau kontraktor ya gitu. Jadi kalau misalnya emang roles-nya masih mau di sini, misalnya memang sukanya di visualisasi data gitu, nah bisa dipertimbangkan bahwa roles ini jatuhnya akan sebagai independent contractor atau freelance gitu. Nah, tapi kalau misalnya lebih evolving mau ke yang permanen atau full time, bisa aku sarankan untuk masuk ke roles data scientist, which is itu pun sudah gabungan juga dengan data analysis. Karena roles data scientist ini pun mereka juga pasti akan membutuhkan bagaimana cara reporting yang pertama dan juga cara membaca tren datanya. Baru setelah itu mereka baru bisa membangun model yang sesuai atau fit in dengan tren sebelumnya. Jadi roles-nya lebih ke kayak bukan oke, sekarang salesnya turun 5%, tapi yang lebih dibutuhkan adalah kenapa salesnya turun 5%? Kamu tahukah, adakah input-input yang bisa menjadi sebab kah? Kalau gitu, tahun depan kita salesnya di bulan ini turun 5% lagi kah? Nah, orang yang bisa ngejawab pertanyaan itu sekarang lebih valuable untuk perusahaan karena mereka berarti bisa valuable untuk permanen atau full time, which is itu merupakan expertise yang memang harus dibangun based on experience gitu. Jadi mungkin untuk fresh graduate bisa coba dulu sebagai freelance data analyst kalau aku boleh kata karena kita juga harus familiar dengan tools-nya, of course. Tapi untuk permanen atau full time sebagai data analyst, aku sekarang agak nggak mau manis-manisin, tapi kayaknya agak susah untuk fresh graduate. Jadi mungkin bisa dicoba freelance untuk data analyst. Nah, ketika udah mulai tahu tren data kayak gimana, yang data kayak apa yang kira-kira sering ya di freelance atau ke data sales kah, marketing, operation, supply demand. Nah, nanti bisa build expertise dari situ. Terus nanti lamar ke perusahaan, oke, saya bisa baca data, bisa bikin reporting, bisa predicting juga modeling, tapi saya punya expertise juga di marketing. Jadi mereka lebih melihat kayak satu whole package, which is yang mereka butuhkan untuk kalau mau nge-hire orang yang untuk full time di company. Karena dibutuhkannya memang, oh ya tiap tahun memang dibutuhkan, karena marketing juga tiap tahun budgetingnya juga beda-beda, kayak gitu. Kayak gitu sih. Oke, semoga menjawab. Terus pertanyaan yang kedua tadi apa ya? Aku jadi lupa. Apa ya tadi pertanyaannya? Masih ke mute.
Mas Fadio, can you repeat your second question? Mas Fadio? about the demand and
Ingat nggak Kak tadi?
yeah, can you repeat your question? Second question, Mas Fadio.
Oke, maaf ya. Tadi pertanyaan saya tentang yang special occasion seperti liburan atau promosi
iya
gitu.
iya, oke, ingat, oke. Ya kalau itu jawabannya emang cuma by experience dan networking I can say. Jadi karena kita orang teknikal ya, especially kamu juga dari matematik background kan, mungkin kita nggak belajar bisnis analitik atau gimana caranya ngelihat situasi bisnis yang sekarang. Yang pertama of course baca berita dan tahu apa yang lagi trending di sekitar. Karena itu udah pasti efek ke data dan sales revenue apapun lah itu. Contoh kemarin COVID 2019. Mau nggak mau kayak semua perusahaan revenue-nya turun, sales-nya turun. Itu udah pasti like kayak big factor. Like kalau kita nggak bisa including big factor kayak gitu ke dalam data itu udah pasti kayak salah kita kenapa kita nggak tahu tren di luar. Jadi yang pertama itu pun penting juga tren di luar negeri yang kayak saat ini Donald Trump naikin visa HB1 harganya jadi berapa 100 juta itu juga pun penting karena yang global especially karena kita belum independen secara ekonomi I can say masih terpengaruh ekonomi global jadi faktor-faktor seperti ekonomi global investment kayak gitu pun juga kadang juga berpengaruh terhadap investasi dan juga sales di Indonesia itu sendiri karena market kita juga merupakan market yang masih emerging, which is masih berkembang banget dan juga banyak terpengaruh oleh ekonomi-ekonomi dari luar negeri dan kebijakan-kebijakan luar negeri. Jadi itu juga penting untuk diketahui. Intinya baca berita dan nulis sebanyak-banyaknya. Yang kedua juga networking sama orang-orang yang punya business knowledge yang beda sama kita itu juga penting banget. Contohnya kamu ngobrol sama orang yang emang belajar marketing atau orang yang belajar supply and demand atau dari operations atau orang yang punya knowledge tentang red hailing itu pun juga akan apa ya bikin kita banyak bisa build sense how to see like trend the data kayak bisa konekin dot satu sama lain karena basically like kita harus punya banyak knowledge dulu dari berbagai macam bisnis baru kita bisa connecting the dot gitu. Jadi nggak boleh cuma satu aja gitu. Kita harus yang banyak kreatif dan moving gitu. Karena kita cuma sebagai orang technical, which is expertise kita nggak bakal ada gunanya kalau misalnya kita nggak banyak diskusi langsung sama orang-orang di operations gitu. Oke. Oke.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Amda. But to maintain the international webinar atmosphere,
Okay.
we back to the English. Maybe
Sure.
we encourage participants to ask their question in English. Yeah. Thank you, Mas Fadio. We are now move to the question in the chat. Maybe the committee can, start the screen. I think there are 7 questions.
Oh,
in the
okay.
chat.
A lot.
Yeah. The first question, May from UT. How do you see the role of human data analysts evolving as AI becoming more advanced? Yeah, maybe like my first question, I think. Yeah.
True that. Yeah, I think this is also same questions as the people also before how we see our roles as a human in AI, right? Become more
Yeah.
advanced because as we know that this type of thing, artificial intelligence is something that are building from how they are learning from the behavior before. So basically, all of these machines is learning from something. So our roles here is to feed them with the correct workflow data also and the things that they should learn correctly. So I think it's more like validating and feeding the right workflow and validating and also try to like building this business sense so we know that this AI is not hallucinate the result. I think something like that. So yeah, this is like the human touch that we should do like when it comes to the AI.
Okay. I can
Okay.
it's a clear answer. Thank you, Ms. Amanda, for the
Okay.
explanation. And move to the second question from Muhammad Muhajirin from UT Mataram. In the midst of current technological shift, AI has become a major catalyst in changing the way we understand and utilize big data. The first one, how do we utilize it well? And second thing, how do we short or choose good AI application to use in our daily lives? Because many AI applications are created only to benefit their users. Okay,
True
you
that.
can elaborate.
Yeah, so I think how do we utilize it well? It depends on the need of the company itself. So I think I can say for like a small medium enterprise company, they see AI as a luxury because I cannot say that it's cheap, it's expensive. Uh, to maintain that also because right now maybe they are still free charging for us, right? No need to pay like subscription, or if need to pay subscription also it's still very cheap. But in the end, if we are over dependence like Mr. Andy said before, they might charge more because that's what happened with the Google as well. With the Google BigQuery, the warehouse. First things like, oh, it's so easy to use, like it's still cheap also. More and more time, like this past 7 years, I think, yeah. The trend of the price is like it's very expensive nowadays. So I can say that it depends. If the company can afford to pay this luxury, then like yeah, it will be like beneficial for like most of the people. So they can shift the roles to like more strategical roles, not like repetitive or manual tasks. But might be for like a small company, if they are not sure they are already profitable or not, or they are still burning the money, I can say that they are they still use like a human to like doing the repetitive tasks. So yeah, it's depends also on the budget. Okay. Number two, how do we sort of choose good AI to use in our daily lives? Yeah, I think this one is more on us to validate which AI are not hallucinating. To become to sure that this result of the AI is not hallucinating, first thing first, we should know the fundamental things, right? The basic knowledge. Like, what can I say? Like, if we don't know about the fundamental things and we just keep trusting whatever AI is saying, then we are the one who are dumb because we are not searching like the fundamental things first. I mean, like fundamental things can be like a lot, right? We are learning in the university. There are a lot of books also we still can read. Like the way the AI is not like this is like the single source of truth, but more on its collaborating merge of all of the source. But it depends on us, like whether we can validate it as hallucinating or not. But yes, of course, fundamental thing is still very important. Okay.
Great. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank
Let's
you.
proceed with the next question. Okay, Sandy from UT Medan. What if the interested parties do not implement the recommendation provided by data analysts? If the interested parties do not.
Okay, so I think this one more on technical data analyst thing, I think.
Yeah.
So I will try to explain. Most of the time, if we didn't set up like clear objective and clear explanations to the stakeholders, they will definitely will reject our recommendation, of course. So the first thing first is before we are doing any of analysis, we should set like the clear objective. No mismatch between what they want and what we provide. For the example, like, okay, one of the business stakeholder, I want revenue 2025, but we should can like ask the right questions. Do you want it for all of the country, or you want for specific country? Do you want it like combined in merge in like a 1 year number, or you want to break down based on the monthly number? So that's like the first things that we should do, like an analyst, right? Asking the right questions, because tend to be in the business or stakeholders, they are only know like how to ask like general question. Yeah, what is our revenue 2025? And then when we provide the number, okay, 1 million It's not correct. I see that our revenue is 0.5. Might be they see like from another dashboards, it's only like for Indonesian or only for Malaysia, only for like specific country with specific filter. So that's the first thing, like should ask questions. And then second one, if we already set like all the clear objective, of course, they are not the one who are really understand the technical skill and the recommendation that we provide. So the recommendation should be something that actionable to us. For example, actionable for them. So for example, if you see like the trend of revenue is decreased 5%, and you say that, oh, it's because this is a low season, you shouldn't put a lot of budget here. But you should like know what is behind all of these judgment or justifications. Is it correct? Like, is it like 5 years back also the revenue decreased in this time because of the low season or not? So you should tell them like what is the justifications of your analysis and recommendations. After that, I think if they are normal human being, I think they wouldn't like implement like your recommendation. I think so. Yeah, it just like need the right justifications.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you.
Okay.
Very interesting answer.
Yeah.
Let's continue to the next question from Farid Azmi, UT Bandung. I have question. Yes, you have. How can we ensure the transparency and accountability in AI power analytics decision? Yeah, maybe like bias and ethic question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. So maybe another thing that I can say for the how we ensure transparency and accountability is we should track what kind of prompt that or kind of workflow and prompt, of course, that we are feeding to the AI. So don't be just replacing one of the prompt and another without like any of historical code. Like we know that we can use like a GitHub or GitLab also for that. Like so restore like all of the prompt that we already feed to the AI itself. Second one is maybe if you still remember that as Ivana that I showed you before, like whenever like it's generate like a result, we will validate that like there is a transparency there that we can see like what is like the query generate inside. So all of the business stakeholder, if they have, of course, not all have like a SQL technical skills, but the one who have like this kind of technical skill, they can see like what is like the query, SQL query behind the AI generate the result. So this is like kind of like a transparency is okay. So when I ask like revenue 2025 to the AI and it say like 1 million, they can see like it's took from this table. This tables means like maybe a table. This is like for all of the country. So the revenue is basically for all of the country and then filter for 2025. So something like that. There will be like a detail on that. So people are not wondering like how AI generate this like 1 million. How it can be like trusted, not hallucination. So yeah, maybe we can add that to our applications. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
That's very good answer. Let's continue with the next
Okay.
question. Yeah, Merdian from Polytechnic Surabaya, I think. Also, to us, suppose we want to pursue a career in data analyst, but do not have a background in mathematics or statistics, even though we use AI to facilitate data analysis. Do we still need to have basic knowledge of statistics or mathematics? Because yeah, data analysts do not only use description analysis, right?
Surely I
Yeah.
would say 100% should. Like not only mathematics and statistic, I think, like what I mentioned before, like we should also aware with current trend, economic trend, global economic trend that's are more and more important for us as an analyst. Because as an analyst, we couldn't see the trend only from one side of the story. There might be another factor that affecting that trend. So I can say that even though we use AI to facilitate data analysis, the way we validate that, of course, using the fundamental knowledge that we have. So what can we do now is we should strengthen on that core skill so we can validate whether this AI has hallucinating or not. Okay. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Very interesting question.
Yeah. Okay, I trust.
And the next question from Novanda Rizky. ya Kalimantan Selatan.
Mm-mm.
How can I trust the output generated by black box method like machine learning or deep learning, especially in medical and finance domain? Why, it is a interesting question.
Yeah, very interesting questions. Yeah, surely, of course, like we cannot just trust that a black box method like ML or DL. But what can I say is because in the machine learning and in the machine learning and deep learning itself also there provide how we can calculate the error rate, right? Especially like using RMSA or MAPE, something like that, right? So we can validate between that first because using ML or GL, we will have like two separated cluster, which is training and also testing data. So we can compare between the training data that we feed on that whatever ML or DL that you are using. For the example, and then after that we are validating it in the testing. So we kind of like see both of the error rate from the training and also the testing, right? So we can compare whether the output that we generate is correct or not, is accurate or not. So it's kind of like more on like accuracy. But then after that, we can also have like proof of concept after that. So after training and testing, we see like the error rate may be low, like 20%. We can use it for like a real data for the like predictions. Maybe we can set like some proof of concept for like 2 or 3 months and seeing like the error rate between our models and the error rate between like the real life data. So in that part, we can also compare. Is it like the error rate still very small? It's very huge. And it's very huge, then of course there might be like something, another factor that are influence the data or the data cannot capture the current trend or something like that. So I can say that how can we trust the output is by us, again, validating the result by seeing the training, testing, also real data, what is like the error rate between them. Okay. Yeah, I think that's my answer.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Samanda. Maybe the question from, oh yeah, I think the last question. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Lina from UT, based on your experience as data analyst, how do you ensure that the analysis we obtain is accurate? And regarding the case presented on prediction, like XGBoost, always the method used for demand forecasting, or there is another method maybe?
Okay, so based on my experience as a data analyst, I'll ensure the analysis is accurate, obviously by discussing with the business stakeholders, because in the end, they are the one who are using our recommendations and our insight. So whatever it is with the result of the analysis, I would recommend you guys as analysts to discuss first and brainstorm first with the business stakeholders. In the end, it's just all about communication and the storytelling of the data. So how you present and also how you gather insight from them. If the stakeholders feels that this is wrong, they will say that and they will elaborate more also why this type of analysis is wrong. So it's kind of like more discussion and back-to-back brainstorming with the business stakeholders to maintain the accuracy of the analysis. And then after that, regarding the case presented on the predictions, no, it's not always XGBoost. We can use like another demand forecastings, but right now I'm not sure which one because at that time we only explore only in XGBoost, but you can explore more. So it really depends on the cases or our trend of the data, like I said, because it's important for us to do a deep dive on the data collection first. What is like the factor that might be like influencing our result in the end? So I think the models you can use whatever it is feels right for the data, but it is like trial and error, I can say, because we cannot get like the expected result outcome before we really know like what is like the feature that are correct. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Maybe the last question from
Mhm.
Bagus. Yeah, I think trivia question. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we need
Yeah, questions.
a laptop or PC to do data analysis or tablet or iPad? Yeah. Please
Surely,
answer.
yeah, surely you need laptop, obviously. If you can afford MacBook, then go buy MacBook.
You can do this paper based, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
Okay.
still there is question from
Oh.
Shadi. What will happen next to job related to data analysis or other field? Will they be replaced? Oh, yeah,
Hmm.
maybe from data analyst, from
Mm,
engineer, maybe that's the correlation.
yeah. Okay. So, for fresh graduate, I think to start fresh entry as a data analyst as a full time, like I mentioned before, it's kind of like pretty hard now. So the current job market also not that good. It's not like we already missed the wave of the tech booming, startup booming in Indonesia because investors are not. I can say like it's not much again. They are invest in Indonesia. I mean like yeah, what can I say right now lah? So I mean like if you want to start like as a data analyst, you can start as a freelance like I mentioned before because people, companies, small business might still need your help to build a report, of course, but they didn't know they need that like every month or every year. Do they can afford to pay you for like every year? Like they should calculate that, right? But definitely they will need, but maybe like for 1 or 2 time project. But the thing with freelance is I can say that most of my friends that are freelancer, they are always got a job. There will be like always a project. It depends on our how we build our portfolio. So this I can say for data analysis, if a fresh graduate, you can start with the freelance first and gathering the portfolio. Yeah. So and then next, uh, for the company for the full time. Like I mentioned before, they need someone who are domain expertise. So it's kind of like collaborating between data analysis and another domain like yeah, demand planning, marketing, or operations, or airline, something like that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Hopefully it's answer your questions. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, great suggestion, I think.
Yeah.
And then the last question from Nur, why did you choose the XGBoost model over the other models such as LSTM, LightGPT? Yeah, you can answer it.
Okay, sure. At that time, we choose XGBoost because we want to capture the handling like a mixed data type, and then capture nonlinear relationship also. And then I kind of like cannot really remembering that because it's a 1 year before. So sorry if I'm not really well explaining this one, but yeah. I think at that time because we are trying like a lot of models like you mentioned before like Prophet. I think because our data is not really like a time series also. We need like something to factor it inside. With Prophet is more like a time series, though we can include like a factor inside also. We cannot really rely on that since it's like a time series based model. And like GPM, I'm not sure if I'm exploring that as LSTM also. But at the time we try XGBoost and the as we need like regression setup, but to capture also nonlinear relationships. And at that time we checking like between the training also the testing the error rate is still good, like it's still acceptable, and then we are doing POC and the result also seems to be like okay, that's why we are using that. So it really depends like a trial and error which models are basically fit in your data. Okay.
Okay, I think that's all for the Q&A session.
Okay.
I would say it's fantastic to see about more than 130 participants remain engaged with us through the entire session.
Oh, a lot.
From
Oh,
the
I thought like
beginning
yeah.
until maybe around 2 hours. Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Amanda, for sharing your expertise and valuable insight with us today. From your presentation and the discussion, we have learned how data analytics have evolved in the AI era, from descriptive and diagnostic method to predictive and prescriptive approach. And now into AI augmented analytics. We have also seen how the role of data analyst is shifting, requiring new skills such as prompt engineering, ethical judgment, and storytelling. The case study you share, especially in aviation demand, forecasting and our customer insight, give us a clear picture of how these concepts are applied in real industry. In our Q&A session, also highlighted that the importance of preparing ourselves with both strong technical foundation and human-centered skill to thrive in the future of analytics. With that, we conclude this session. On behalf of the organizing committee, I extend our deepest gratitude to Ms. Amanda Permata Dewi for the inspiring talk and to all participants for your active engagement. As moderator, I also sincerely apologize for any shortcoming or mistake in guiding to this discussion. Now, I would like to hand the session back to our Master of Ceremony to continue with the next agenda. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Andi, for the wonderful moderation. Now we move on to the certificate handover. The certificate of appreciation will be presented to our keynote speaker, Ms. Amanda Permata Dewi by Ms. Siti Hadijah Hasanah, SSE, MSE. Ms. Hadijah, please proceed.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Zakia. Hello, Ms. Amanda. You are so great today.
Oh, thank you so much.
Your presentation was truly inspiring and insightful. Now, I would like to present the certificate of appreciation to Ms. Amanda as our sincere gratitude for her insightful presentation today in today's webinar. Thank you very much, Ms. Amanda. With this, I kindly return the session back to MC, Ms. Zakia.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, congratulations once again, Ms. Amanda, and thank you for your valuable insight. Ladies and gentlemen, we have now reached the end of today's international webinar. On behalf of the Statistics Study Program, Faculty of Science and Technology, Universitas Terbuka, I would like to express our gratitude to all participants, our keynote speaker, Ms. Amanda Permata Dewi, our Dean, Dr. Subekti Nurmawati, and our moderator, Mr. Andi Rosilala. We hope this webinar has given us new insight on how artificial intelligence is shaping the future of data analytics. Before we officially end today's webinar, let us capture this wonderful moment with a group photo. We kindly ask all participants to turn on your camera. For the first slide, please get ready. Our team will take the capture in 3, 2, 1. Next slide. 3, 2, 1. Next slide. 3, 2, 1. Next slide. 3, 2, 1. And the last slide. 3, 2, 1. Thank you very much. As a reminder, please don't forget to fill out the attendance form through the link provided in the chat to claim your certificate. Thank you for your attention and participation. Stay inspired, stay connected, and see you at our next event. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Salam. Okay, thank you everyone.
Thank you. See you.
See you.
Thank you, Ms. Amanda. Thank you, Mr. Andi. Thank you, Ms. Zakia, and all.
Udah boleh live ya, Bu?